Hey everyone, I'm Mine, and this is set number 71781, Lloyd's Mech Battle EVO from the LEGO Ninjago theme. This set contains 223 pieces, 2 minifigures, and will retail for $19.99 in the US. This set is not officially released until January 1st, 2023, but it was sent to me early by the LEGO group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. Before I get started, I'd just like to ask you guys please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm doing a bunch of early 2023 LEGO reviews right now, including more Ninjago sets as well as a bunch of other themes. In fact, there's already a bunch of other reviews on the channel right now, so go check those out after this video. But yeah, by liking this video and subscribing to the channel, it'll help put future reviews in your feed as soon as they're posted, and also really help support me and the channel. But with all that being said, let's get on to the review. So there's two builds in this set, a mech for Lloyd and a mech for the bad guys. We'll take a look at each of them individually. First, we'll start by taking a look at the Lloyd mech. Now, when this was revealed, I had a lot of people mention to me, this looks a little familiar. I made a custom Lloyd mech last year, it became one of my most popular videos of all time. And while there's definitely some key differences between mine and LEGO's official one, there are some surprising similarities, which is actually really cool to see. I'll probably do a video comparing those two at some point, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that here. Anyway, this mech, I actually think looks really good. I'm glad Lloyd is getting a proper mech, because the 4+ one we got last year was not enough. And while I would have preferred a mech for a different ninja, namely Jay, Nia, or Cole, I still think it's nice to get a full-size mech for Lloyd. This is also, of course, a Ninjago EVO set, so this mech has two forms, its evolved form and its base form. This is the mech in its fully evolved form, but after I go through everything, I will take pieces off to show you what it looks like in its base form. So starting in the mech's feet, I think they're fine. Kinda wide. This is actually a technique I used on some of my EVO mechs. Obviously, LEGO's looks a little nicer because they're not using limited part requirements like I am. Or I guess they are, but they're different limited part requirements. But yeah, I think they're solid. It looks like the designers were trying to intend for this mech to sort of have like rocket shoes or something. I don't know, you have these two things that look like thrusters out the back, as well as trans orange pieces around the back of the feet. So to me at least, that comes off as like, oh, you imagine this like shooting forward. But if you guys have any other ideas as to what those could represent, let me know in the comments. Moving up the mech, they use the EVO joints in green, of course. Dark green Nexonite shield piece just adds some extra armor. I think that works well enough. And then there's the golden EVO armor pieces at the top. Coming up to the cockpit, they use the golden SCCBS cockpit piece, the same one that was used on the 4+ version of this mech, and that of course can be opened up. The Lloyd minifigure that comes in the set can be placed inside, and then you close that back up around him. This mech also uses the printed ninja tile that we saw in Zane's and Kai's mechs last year. Now the new Kai mech for this wave does not have that, but it looks like it's not been discontinued because it is here. So yeah, it's a bit weird that that one does not include it, but I'm glad it's included here because it does make everything look a lot nicer. At the top, there's like these armored shoulder blade pieces. These I believe are introduced for the Golden Ultra Dragon this year, and these fit really well and help give the mech like an overall very armored look. Arms of course connect on mini ball joints just like on other EVO mechs. Same green EVO joint, and there's actually an all new printed part here on this Nexonite shield. That's surprising because it's not often in Ninjago that we get single set prints, like specifically for pieces that could use stickers. But yeah, we did get an all new printed part here. It's used in two different places, and it looks like it's some sort of like energy core. I don't know, there's like this green aura in it, and then it's got Lloyd's symbol at the top right here. It does look very cool, and definitely adds to like the overall mechanical vibe of this mech. But yeah, I'm just surprised we got that part at all. I'm very happy to see it. Coming down the arm, you have one more little gold piece, and then a mini ball joint at the end, and that connects onto a little hand, and that hand just has a clip that holds a sword. Other arm pretty much exactly identical, also has that same new printed part, and there's also a hand at the very end. Done exactly the same way, however, this hand holds a larger sword. This has a big silver blade piece, which is nice to see. That blade piece is not new by any means. It started coming in sets in 2012, but silver's a way less common color for it, so that's nice to see. And then the golden dragon hilt's always nice to get. Up on the top of the mech, there's a new printed banner piece. That has a little picture of Lloyd like deflecting an energy blast with the shield. And then around the back of the mech, there's these two golden blades. These work as like little wings, and actually I guess that makes sense with like the thrusters at the bottom. So I guess the idea is that this mech can sort of glide, which does look very cool. Gives the mech like a really nice unique silhouette, and helps differentiate it from other mechs. However, there is a secondary purpose to these blades. You see, you can remove this entire attachment, and if you remove the sword from Lloyd's hand, you can replace it with one of the golden blades, and there you go, now you have like this double-sided sword blade for Lloyd, though I see it as more of like a boomerang. I guess that's up to your interpretation. I think the like basic sort of looks cooler, and it's cooler to have like wings on the back, but I like that option. You can take it off, use it as a weapon instead, and of course the mech can hold at the base of either blade, so if you prefer it like this, you could do that. In terms of posability, I mean, it's an EVO mech, so pretty great. About the same range that like Zane's mech or Kai's mech has if you have either of those. No like bendable knees or elbows or anything, of course, but the joints it uses keeps it stable, but because it's so light, it has a pretty dynamic range of motion, so you can get a ton of personality out of it, pose it in lots of different ways, and because it's so light, it's quite easy to balance, so you can do things like this with it. In my opinion, EVO mechs are some of the best mechs LEGO's ever done. Of course, they don't have knees, which is something a lot of people want, but personally, I don't mind mechs not having knees, like it's nice when they're included, but I think the EVO mech building system's just amazing. So yeah, I'm very happy we got one for Lloyd. Now moving on to the actual evolution aspect of the mech, let me show you how to transform it back into its non-evolved form. Basically, we're just going to remove a lot of the gold on the mech. Not all of the gold, but a good amount of it. So you take the armor off the legs, the thrusters off the ankles, the shoulder armor off the top, as well as the flag off the top. Of course, remove the wings out the back. And finally, the printed ninja tile from the front, which definitely looks worse, a lot less unique. However, that's the point of the evolution system. You're supposed to have a very basic mech that's still like functional, you can play with this, but then upgrade it, transform it, turn it into a more interesting mech, which it definitely does. I think the feet especially look really big here without like the evolution. So yeah, I do not recommend keeping your set like this, but I do think the EVO system's very fun, because it allows kids to start playing with their set even before they finish building it, which I do really like. Anyway, I think that's about it for the Lloyd mech in this set, so now let's move on to the villain mech. So here is the anime bone mech in the set, and it uses an offshoot of like the EVO mech building system that does not follow it as closely as the Lloyd mech does. Still though uses the same joints, this time recolored in red, which is an all new color for this wave. Very happy to see that. Again, if you guys have any ideas for custom mechs I can build using these red joints, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your ideas, and maybe I'll use them for an upcoming video. But yeah, let's take a look at this mech up closer too. Now the feet are done very similarly to the Lloyd mech, though with these tooth pieces to be like the toes out the front. Red EVO joints of course. And then they use gunmetal gray for the armor here, which I actually think works really well. Not the biggest fan of like the ingot pieces up here, but they're fine, they're not a huge deal. And of course, very similar design on the other side. Now here's where this mech strays from like the standard EVO mech design. It does not use the EVO cockpit piece, rather it's just a brick-built cockpit. Still though, I think it's a nice way to mix things up and differentiate the good guy mechs from the bad guy mechs. It uses like the samurai helmet crossguard piece from like the accessory pack that comes in this set. That actually works really well. Here's like a little logo for the mech. Nice way to like represent that without using a printed part. And then if you open it up, you can see there's room inside to store a figure. You can place him in the mech just like this, and after removing his weapons, close it back up around him. There's how it looks with the bone villain actually piloting the mech, which does look quite cool, and I love the giant straw hat on the top. Again, similar to something I did in one of my custom mech videos. I did something similar for my custom Woo mech, though I certainly did not invent that idea, but it's cool to see that used in an official set too. The arms don't have a ton going on, just more red EVO joints, gunmetal gray armor, and there's a little tooth piece at the very end. The other arm's the same thing, however it's holding a weapon, and this weapon is huge and ridiculous and oversized, but I love it. It's like this double-bladed scythe that uses the bone weapon pack that comes in every set this wave. The blades of the scythe are the swords from that weapon pack, and then it has scythes on the other end, and that just looks so cool in the hands of the mech. Unfortunately, posability is a little bit limited when actually fighting with that weapon. Because the mech doesn't have a proper hand, you have to rotate the entire arm to rotate the weapon, so it's not like as posable as the Lloyd mech is, but it's still definitely not bad. Quick note, I just finished filming. I was going to take the thumbnail pictures for this video, and I went to look at the box art and I realized there's something I missed. This weapon is meant to be separatable. You could detach this bottom section right here, place it in the mech's other hand, and then you have two sides instead of a double-sided one. That's actually a very cool feature, I like that. Anyway, now back to my pre-recorded footage. And then you can see poking out from the back of the mech are two more weapons. Those are the actual size from the weapon pack, and just sort of serve as like little flags on the back, which do look really cool. Overall, the skeleton mech's a little bit smaller than the Lloyd mech. However, I'm just really happy that the villains have something substantial at all to fight with. Because a lot of times in Ninjago waves, the villains get basically nothing. So you have these elaborate, awesome vehicles for the ninja, and then these tiny little things for the bad guys. And not that this mech is huge by any means, but it is something. It's a proper build for the bad guys, and I feel like it's a fair opponent for the Lloyd mech. So yeah, that makes me super happy to see. So I just really love both the builds in this set. But I think that's all I have to say on the builds of this set, at least as for now. So now let's move on to the minifigures. So here are the two minifigures in this set. We have an all-new Golden Lloyd, and then we have a Bone Warrior. Now this Golden Lloyd is the only new ninja suit for this wave, and every other set the ninja just reused suits of the previous core wave. But no, this Golden Lloyd is all new and exclusive, and I actually think it looks fantastic. We've gotten Golden Lloyds many times before, so I feel like the novelty of just Golden Lloyd has kind of worn off, but just because it's not as special or exciting as it once was, doesn't make it a bad figure by any means. In fact, I think this looks quite fantastic. This is an all new color combination for the ninja mask. We had gold and dark green before, but this is our first time getting gold and normal green. You could use this for like crystallized Lloyd if you wanted. I know that's not show accurate, but it is an option you have. I think it would probably look pretty good. You can also use it for the 10th anniversary Lloyd. That would actually fit in pretty well. And then in terms of the torso and leg print, I like the dark green in the torso, though I feel like it doesn't really match with the green of everything else. Kind of wish that was a lighter green to match with the belt and like the hands and everything more. Still though, works well enough. The gold printing is fantastic though. I love whenever they do gold printing on top of gold piece. You can see there's like this very subtle dragon design running up his torso. Those look super cool. And then I like the green belt that he has to reincorporate that green back in, but it's still tipped with the gold. And then he has like armored golden knee pads as well. Yeah, this guy looks amazing. A really cool exclusive to get. And I'm very happy he's included. We at least have something for the ninja this wave. Turning him around and removing that hood, you can see his back torso print, where he still has that ninja logo that all the core suits have. However, now it's surrounded by like these green dragon scales. There's look at his alternate face too, and then there's look at his main face print. different. Yeah, super cool exclusive minifigure. Wish we got it for more Ninja, but at the very least, I'm happy we have this one. And then the Bone Warrior, you can see in terms of his weapons, he has 2 of the Bone Shurikens. These are a part of the same accessory pack, and I believe this is the only set that uses every part from that accessory pack, because all the other parts were used on the actual mech. And yeah, I think this guy looks really good. He's got like the mummy wrap at the top of his torso, which I think looks super cool. The way that silver armor transitions from the torso into the legs is amazing. The red chainmail at the top looks really cool. And then just the overall spring green design he has going on. It's a very nice color. It's a great way to mix things up from just the standard white that you normally see with skeletons. Turning this guy around, you can see he's got a little more metallic printing on the back, as well as more red armor, and a little bit more of those like mummy wraps. He also has like the Oni horn piece, and this armor piece, which I'm not a big fan of this armor piece, but even still, all together, I think he's pretty good. Nice good generic bad guy. You do only get one in this set, but I think that's perfectly fine, and I'm glad he has like a proper build to pilot. But overall, what are my thoughts of this set? I absolutely love this set. This might be my favorite set of the wave, or at least my favorite small set of the wave. Like, of course, you guys know I love EVO mechs in general, but no, I feel like this is a very complete set. You get everything here. You get a great build for the good guy, a great build for the bad guy, an exclusive minifigure, and it's also a really good price. 223 pieces for $20 is entirely respectable, especially considering you do get an exclusive minifigure in there, and both builds are substantial enough. Right, one of these mechs was $10 last year, so 2 of them that'd be 20. That makes sense. So 100% I recommend this set to pretty much everybody. If you're a Ninjago fan and you have money to spend on LEGO, why not get this set? It's got an exclusive minifigure, it's not that expensive, and it's a really great build, so I highly recommend you pick this one up. And also, the fact that there's a substantial villain build is always very cool to me. This happens so infrequently, it's really nice to see here. So yeah, both for kids and older collectors, I think this is a fantastic set all around. Cannot recommend it enough. Highly, highly, highly recommend you pick it up. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I have a bunch of early 2023 reviews on the channel right now, and coming to the channel very, very soon, including more Ninjago, as well as Minecraft, Monkey Kid, Star Wars, Lego Mario, and more. So if any of that sounds like something you'd be interested in, by liking the video and subscribing to the channel, it'll help put those videos in your feed as soon as they're posted, and also really help support me and the channel. But I think that's about all I have to say for this video, so thanks for watching everybody, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!